here on Inferno. This is where it starts to get exciting. It's round number 3, the decider map. Who's going to be able to take this one? Is it going to be Triumph, or are Rebirth going to cause a huge upset?
That is the big question mark here for this series. I don't know if it means much in terms of the playoffs, how they actually stand up here in IEM New York. It's always nice to get a big win on the biggest stage of them all. One of the classics in Counter-Strike. Let's go live on Inferno. It's 4-Pack picking up the P250 to start things off. Carson on utility duty with the smoke and the flashbang.
That initial damage coming through as well, and ShakeZulu are able to find the first and a second as well. That's such a nice start, but the swing coming through can't quite convert for more. Carson and 4-Pack find a couple of their own, brings things into a 2-on-1 situation, and Carson's now able to backtrack and try and clutch this one up with another headshot.
1 versus 1, and Penny up for grabs. The flash goes over the top, but it's a one-tap, fully blind, sensational way to start, and that's exactly what Triumph needed.
Such a messy pistol round there. Engagements going back and forth oh so quickly. And somehow Triumph are able to come out on top in that final one-on-one situation. That's exactly what they need here to kick things off on Inferno. Gives them some cash to work with in the second. And of course, with Rebirth getting no bomb plant there, in fact, not even getting close to a bomb site, means that they are going to have no cash to work with. And it's going to be the full eco.
Nothing up for grabs, not even a double Desert Eagle. Only Carson holding that single hand cannon towards the banana area. Bit of map control taken at the start, but obviously pressured away by the Molotovs. Triumph want to get aggressive. They're confident going into this series, knowing they're the favorites.
With this deep banana control as well, the smoke right down, it means that Rebirth aren't given that opportunity to get into banana, take those close range fights and get the job done with the pistols. Instead, they're just trapped in middle right now. And in the meantime, Triumph have taken loads of control. ShakeZulu pushed all the way down to bottom banana. He can contest this close if Rebirth decide to backtrack. But here they're looking to find the kills over towards the A bracket and they're not able to get anything done just yet.
Now, complete shut away. Of course, Triumph wanting to find the majority of these kills on the SMGs, and it does pan out successfully. Moose and ShakeZulu rack up $1,200 bonus cash between them. That is going to be the 2-0 without dropping a single man as a result.
A very, very nice start from Triumph. The second round a little bit more convincing than the first. However, Rebirth, they didn't invest anything into that second round. Of course, the way that the economy works as well means that in this round number 3, they are going to be able to pull out the big weapons. AKs all round, a lack of utility in the hands of Retchi and Phantom, but it might just be sufficient if they can up the pace and find the frags.
Junior wants to take an aggressive stance of his own, and Curry, as a result, takes all mid-control with the P90. Often we call it the Silver Elite Master of the SMGs, but this time it's able to find the first, and through apps control, it will be that A bomb site as a result. Moose not quite connecting. The 3 versus 5, and Junior, he spotted Carson and still inside the apartments. That balcony position becomes very hard to contend with, but he manages it nonetheless. This is a triple swing for Triumph, and 4-Pack cannot hold up.
4-Pack and Zotic making it a little bit messy there towards the end, but it does quite comfortably go Triumph's favor. A nice attempt from Rebirth to take that early apartments control, but they just can't win the gunfights and the trades come through a little bit too late. A very, very nice start. 3-0. Quite the statement to kick things off here on Inferno. And they're just showing that they want to just get this one over and done with. They're in the third map. They know that they shouldn't really be in this situation. And right now, just against these Deagles, they look to extend their lead further.
Remember, if they were going for this playoffs position, then that loss bonus, that kind of the difference in the round difference really becomes a factor. That shouldn't really be the case. So winning a 2-1 just as good here for Triumph. Of course, they wanted quite the startling series, but it's not going to happen. You don't always get your first wish here in Counter-Strike. Should be a convincing round, though, with the AK-47 falling. Only a Deagle and a Glock up for grabs. Couple of flashes as well if they want to bombard one of these bomb sites. But this setup from Triumph looks incredibly sturdy right now. I don't see any opportunity unless they get 4-Packs and Deagle towards the balcony area. And just contending for this AK, Curry should have been able to lock this one down, but it has been snatched. And as he retrieves it, that's going to be the complete shutaway. I think we'll get a technical pause as we do have a dropout before we get into this one.
Oh, he's right back in.
There he is already. Nice and swift. Online CS often full of technical timeouts, but not this time. This IEM New York, Josh. We're on. It's the action.
Yeah, you got to be quick. If you're gonna disconnect, you got to fix it quickly and get right back in. No timeout needed as we get into the 5th, and a full investment here from Rebirth. Finally, the AWP in the hands of 4-Pack, and on a map like Inferno, he can go for these early engagements, try and win these duels against Sheikh Zula, who, quite bizarrely, is the man wielding it. I'd like
Usually
to see
you
Junior,
see Junior, of course.
He was doing some real damage with it as well over on Nuke, but let's see what Sheikh Zula can bring to the table.
Of course, he's the in-game leader holding the reins of this Triumph side, so if anybody has that executive power to steal away the AWP, it certainly is him. And maybe it comes towards timing on Banana. Sometimes you really do need your timings to be completely on point. And as he gets this position posted, Carson's his first victim.
Very nice opening kill for him to find. Of course, Rebirth, they're playing the clock here, and as it starts to tick away, minute left on it, they are grouped up towards this A site, but they've completely lost Banana control, and now the flash can come through. The M4 does do good for damage, but only the 1-for-1 engagement as Rebirth continue to push through.
Curry certainly could have found both of those and end the round in its tracks. Now it's down to Junior on the AK-47. Imagine if he had an AWP right here and now. The round would practically be over. Instead, the spray away. Moose able to close. Exotic, what can he do here? Needs the 1v1 now against Sheikh Zula, who's incredibly late on the rotate. He's towards the B bomb site, and as the C4 goes down and away, a time pressure applied. Utility up for grabs, of course. The smoke and the flashbang in the hand for Sheikh Zula. Zotic, nothing to work with but that triple kill. Rebirth, they've got a dream. They need this first round on the board, and playing towards the back of this A bomb site, he holds the massive advantage in this 1v1 scenario. Sheikh Zula switches to the AK-47. It's better at close range, but he's got so many angles to check and change. I don't think he spotted out Zotic there. As the smoke goes away, it's an easy kill to find. Rebirth, they're first.
That's a 4K for Zotic, the man that brings all of the experience to this roster, of course. Playing on a side like Splice back in the day, now he's able to put that first round on the board here in map number 3. Very, very convincing stuff. And Sheikh Zula, he's really the insurance policy over towards that B-bomb site. He's just waiting for maybe Rebirth to not have a whole load of success on the execute and backtrack around. He's then able to just stay posted on that deep angle that he has. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. He has to swap out to the AK, go for a last-minute retake, and it's not going to work out in his favor. The terrorist timeout comes through, and as it comes to an end, it's looking like they are going to be coming into this one full guns blazing. So they want to close this initial gap that's been established early.
I've got to say, Josh, Rebirth have been using these tactical timeouts much more than their opponents. Triumph, I don't think even using one there on Nuke. Rebirth, I think they used all 4 before it came to a close. They had plenty of rounds to throw them in, of course. I think 35 rounds that full map went to, perhaps 34. Lots and lots of game time there. And you do want to break the pace at certain moments. And after taking the first, they know this is a comeback opportunity. 4-Pack, unable to sweep away the first.
Takes a lot of damage from that initial nade as well, and as the utility continues to rain through, it starts to cause problems for Rebirth. With that smoke up, there's an opportunity for Triumph to regain that top banana control, but with the boost in play, Carson pushed right through it. That's not going to be something that Triumph go for. Instead, they just rotate a man over. They've got this 3-man stack towards the B site now, but they have to be careful. With only Junior and Moose over on A, if Rebirth decide to backtrack, they could have a problem on their hands. Instead, minute left on this clock, the nades start to rain over, and this is looking like a B execute.
That smoke is also awful for Triumph. I don't know who threw it, but certainly doesn't block off any Rebirth control. That one certainly does. Carson is forced away and needs to wait for about the 30-second mark before this one can come in. Nade unsuccessful. Nobody under the flower pot boost. Of course, Triumph will get away scot-free on that one. There is a gap in this smoke. Wretch can spring the trap. He's unable to find Sheikh Zula, and now the Famers can flail to avail. Only the 1 kill found. It gets traded right away. A double smoke for that CT cross, as the bomb should go down here. Curry's got the angle, and there's the spray away onto Zotic. A 2 versus 3 now, as the AWP might become the liability. Not much utility up for grabs. Single incendiary grenades for the Triumph side, and Carson's able to swing through. The flashbangs, they're now on the floor. That single smoke grenade was up for grabs, and now Phantom has to hold it on his lonesome. The Galil, maybe not the best equipment for the job, and he's only got one flash himself to hold this one away, and Triumph already going for this defuse. I think he's counted himself out right now, and Moose absolutely secures it.
This is where the utility for either man has to come into play, but with nothing available besides the 2 flashbangs, they have to rely on the aim duels, and it is going to be Triumph to come out on top. 5-1 as they managed to close that one out. They had a fantastic start there on the B-bomb side, but the trades converted for Rebirth. They were able to get that C4 down and almost take it over the edge. You really have to get your monitor brightness up when you're swinging into an angle like Sheikh Zula was playing on top of that flower pot boost. It can often be very, very hard to spot him out and easily overlooked. He's able to capitalize on it. Here in the 7th, it's going to be a full buy up from both sides. This is the determining playground. Who pulls ahead here?
Utility looking incredibly lax for Rebirth. 4 smokes in hand, but those all-important flashbangs are no longer in play, with only Phantom holding a single flash.
Molotov forces Penny back as well. He no longer wants to take that fight, and Sheikh Zula can't stick around to support him. So Rebirth are able to take this banana control. And with tons of time left on this clock as well, taking this map control is certainly impactful. But with that bomb left behind, and they're still just feeling around for info, they've still been unable to find an initial frag as well as they spot out Curry. They stack up towards these B apartments. It's looking like this is going to be an A hit, but Carson has to wrap back around and retrieve this C4 before they can go for it.
You have to be incredibly careful if you're Curry on that A bomb site. You have to be careful with Curry in general. I've had a couple of dodgy ones in my time, but swinging away in the open, that apartment's position definitely becomes under contest. You have to be well aware that a team member can certainly be swinging. That time it was Zotic, can certainly take your head off. We talked about the bags of experience. At the 30-second mark, this swing is about to come through from both sides. The pincer from Rebirth as they close in, 4-pack with that initial angle, and Penny ready to receive. Where's the flashbang coming from? He gets caught with it in hand. Junior a blind shot to capitalize, and now the AK-47 needs to come to avail. Curry and Moose, they've got the crossfire in place. With 10 seconds left, expect 4-pack to either fall or engage. All 3 players up for grabs, and there's the trade.
That is such a fantastic round from Curry. We see a beautiful spray transfer as he finds the man through the smoke on Moto and then knows that one's going to swing short to trade him. So instantly moves his mouse across, gets that second kill, and then even as the third man comes in to trade it when he's got no bullets left in the tank, Moose is there to capitalize, get that crossfire in, and completely shut things down. Beautiful 7th round there, and it puts 6 on the board for Triumph. Forces Rebirth right down to another pistol buy here, only 4-pack with a rifle in hand, and it's going to be in the form of the Galil. And once again, they want to try and take some control towards the apartments early.
I wonder if 4-pack decided that AWP could be thrown away, just predicated off the fact that he had a bit of bonus cash. Buying here kind of negates that option to get the sniper rifle back out for the 9th. Puts Rebirth in a massive deficit. That triple kill right there certainly adds the pressure. Retchi back with 1, but this should be the complete shut away behind the smokes. Lovely positions from Triumph, as they should shut away this round. The only question now becomes the damage. Retchi should be able to plant that bomb away, and Junior, he is going to spring right through. There's the information given, and now a 1 versus 2. Retchi hunting for the ace, his first in this tournament, but Curry instantly denies it.
That's actually really smart from Retchi there to find those kills, get himself onto that bomb site, and then just tap that bomb. He knows that there's going to be a man playing around that CT area, and as soon as he taps it, they're going to charge in to try and deny. So he gets that kill as he hears the footsteps, brings things into a 2-on-1, and quite frankly, that's a really successful round from Rebirth. Despite the fact that they didn't win it, they had very, very little investment, and getting that extra bomb plant and taking away some rifles from their opponents is definitely going to be impactful. 7-1 we now sit as Triumph look to extend their lead further here in the 9th, and they've got all the weaponry to do so, with the only contingency being Sheikh Zula on this MP9.
There shouldn't be too much of a deficit here on Inferno unless the retakes come through. You can play it up close and personal on Banana, which is exactly where he's holding from, behind that broken wall. Curry's the first man to receive this impact, and Rebirth not checking their corners. He's got all three for his troubles. There's a messy spray away, and only able to find one headshot as a response. Pressure now on Moose, as he needs to haul in his way into aggression. Finally finds that second, and Rebirth, they're taking control. No further defense over on A, but the retake, it's already underway. Penny with the first. I think Rebirth might backtrack to B, bail away from this pointy letter. A CT control taken from 4-pack, and I think Phantom is going to slip away into his disposition also. 60 seconds on the clock. They definitely don't need to hurry this one, but with no defense over by the B bomb site Triumph, now they're going to push this retake inwards.
That can always be the issue when you go for the trigger discipline. You wait too long and you've got too many men to choose from. Rebirth gives them a ticket back into this one. They can head round towards this B site, but as the C4 starts to go down, Junior is able to relay this information to Penny. And as he starts to rotate over, it's going to be a really long rotation. Junior really needs to go for some kind of peek here and try and find himself either one kill or get a little bit of info for Penny to work with. As the smoke goes down, that's going to isolate one angle, and now they can try and close in on this retake.
Certainly not as speedy as first predicted. Rebirth have been able to take these after plants, and 4-pack instead charges right in, certainly taking Penny by surprise. And now a crossfire established, a minimum damage shot through the back boxes. Phantom, he is certainly going to survive here as Junior needs to bail away once again with that AWP in hand. Rebirth played that one perfectly through the CT spawn there. He saw that rotation in Rap coming back, and, well, that's the second for their troubles.
That is a really fantastic read. After they found that initial kill, and I think they found one more as well over towards that A-bomb site, you would expect them to kind of fall into the trap. They'd say, okay, we've got these 2 kills on A, let's go for this one and try and push through, and we'll probably be able to either get this bomb down for free, maybe we need to find one more kill before we do so. But instead, they recognize the fact that they've got long control, there could still be another man on this A-bomb site, and anyone left on B more than likely would have been facing them by now through Arch, through Library, and by the fact that they hadn't means that they've rotated through Banana. So that gives them an avenue to get round to CT, get back onto that B site, get that plant down, and as soon as they get the plant, and they've got a few seconds to work with as well to get favorable positions in the post-plant situation, it's their round for the taking. They execute it flawlessly, they put their second round on the board. Now all they need to do is try and string together a few more to have an acceptable half.
One thing also of note, Triumph finally find the tactical timeout button. I think it's under somebody's desk somewhere. It's a big red button. You can't really miss it, but they've not pressed it this series. That's the first time right after a single round loss. They are frantically trying to win this series right now. One of the more serious maps of their entire careers. Remember, bags of experience on these players, and now need to swing into the apartments. It was that triple stack for Rebirth, so able to trade away those first frags, and Shake Zulu with the backtrack angle, Junior with the AWP. This was the primary investment, but certainly challenged for the second. Carson closes, Phantom there as well to sneak in a final frag, and that's Rebirth taking their third. This should certainly be a dodgier situation now. Look at the Triumph money, it's a bit weird.
That round happened way too fast, and even a little bit of BM in the chat once again from the T side as well, of course. That was just absolutely crazy. The kills coming through within the space of a second, the AWP missing, and being in a place like Pit when the waterfall comes down, you absolutely need to connect every single shot. And in not doing so, it gives Rebirth a chance back into this one, as they've now got all the weapons to work with, and Triumph do not. It's 4-pack to win the engagement on middle. Of course, only the scout in hand for Junior, but winning that engagement gives them loads of room to work with, and actually a free B bomb site if they guess correctly.
Gotta say, all of these maps have been incredibly exciting. Even the start of Dust 2 that went 16-8. Certainly an interesting map, to say the least. Rebirth brought a flary style of Counter-Strike, this time very easily taking this B bomb site. I like the Triumph don't overextend into this buy. Like the fact that they just pick up a couple of CC75s for their troubles, gives them a buy in round number 12, and doesn't put this half in jeopardy, remember, Josh. If they had maybe forced a couple of AK-47s picked up, perhaps, I don't know if they could have saved any. This could have certainly been a more tough, tricky round. Instead, they don't really put this one at risk whatsoever. Just sitting within the CT spawn should be a very simple close of a Rebirth nonetheless. They do give away the fourth, but I like this very tenured, tempered CS.
Certainly playing with some discipline here. As you say, it's going to be the fourth round here for Rebirth, but they have to face up against the rivals in the next. Triumph, they're not giving them too much to work with. They give them a couple of rounds here and there, but then they make them play against a full investment when it really matters. And Rebirth, if they can convert it, and they can put that fifth on the board, force Triumph back down to another eco, maybe get themselves onto 6, 7. That's where things start to get dangerous. But Triumph still firmly in the driver's seat, and they've got a very good opportunity to extend this first half lead even further, whether that be 9-6, whether that be 10-5. We only time can tell. We have to wait and see. But with this double AWP setup, there's certainly potential for them to shut down this next one.
This was definitely communicated by Sheikh Zula, though. We saw him pick up the AWP, maybe a bit of a comfort pickup for him earlier in the map, and once again, being that secondary AWP featuring Junior also, he'll be heading towards the middle of the map. Overextending becomes the problem against 4-Pack. We know he knows how to hit this shot incredibly speedily. I don't know if they'll be expecting the secondary AWP here. Sheikh Zula, he shoots a little early through the flashbangs, and as Moose takes a lot of damage there, let's see what they can come out with.
Well, we see the man spotted towards Banana, and Sheikh Zula posted on this angle. The Molotov's going to force him right back. Lucky to get away with his life there. And Rebirth are able to take this control. It's something that we saw Triumph doing really, really well early on in this game, where they were able to take those early Banana fights, win them, and take that control. But instead, we see Rebirth not really contesting it early on. It doesn't give the utility an opportunity to find those early frags, and instead, they wait for the nades to be thrown, then they execute it later, and they do it flawlessly. But so much damage dealt, but still no kills coming through for Rebirth.
So unfortunate there. 4-Pack just an inch away, and Sheikh Zula just one bullet away from death. Zotic's able to eliminate him from this B-bomb site. Should be another lockaway round for Rebirth here. They've done all of the damage. The retake, it's a million miles away, and I don't think Triumph want to push the gas on this one.
That's such a nice round from Rebirth. As I said before, not pushing into Banana, allowing those nades to rain in, and they're not able to do any damage because Rebirth aren't contesting it in the first 20 seconds of the round. Then they throw their own counter utility, the Molotovs, the flashbangs. It gives them that control. It forces the CTs right back. They're able to punch through a load of damage as well, which they either find the kills there and just charge straight through, or they punch in the damage and then execute like they did here, and they do it flawlessly. They keep 4 players alive in this one, and they look to extend further as well and try and get rid of these saved rifles. If you look at the economy on Rebirth right now, they've certainly got the cash to expend, and if they can take away this AWP, it would certainly be impactful. 4-Pack's able to do so. Surely finds another on the crosshair as well. If Junior tries to retrieve it, the shot connects, can't quite find the kill, and that's going to be the AWP retrieve for Triumph.
Yeah, it's that all-important sniper carried through. Triumph won't have a hell of a lot more to work with. Of course, Curry's M4, that might be all she wrote apart from a couple of pistols. Rebirth, it's that full buy, of course. They're really applying the pressure on this T side. We've seen a very fiery brand brought into this server. Back from Dust 2, remember that run and gun control onto Long. We're pretty much seeing a mirror image of that here on the third and final map of this series. That confidence certainly hasn't gone amiss.
Absolutely. We didn't see it come through in the first few rounds, but they seem to have found it once again. The CZ from Moose punches in some damage, but he has to fall right back. He knows that that rifle is completely unretrievable, and if he tries to push through for it, he's going to be punished. So falling away, that single frag certainly going to be impactful, but only the CZ in hand. Still a huge firepower advantage here for Rebirth as they press on further. They have to try and take away this AWP from Junior's hands, though. As they push into this A site, there is a 4-man stack, and they either need to weed it out early and start to lean over towards this B site, or they need to find all the frags here.
The pressure certainly applied. You see that flashbang from Retchy right there? It does force Junior off the angle and allow the AWP from 4-Pack to post, preferably for this kill. It doesn't come in, though. There's the triple conversion from Triumph, completely shutting it away with a crossfire. And at the 50-second mark, Phantom down on his luck, certainly down on players. This is a 1 versus 4 and a dilemma for him. The money built up. How much damage can he do here? I think he's not going to go completely incognito through the boiler. Triumph have this one completely under wraps. Expect the swing to come out of Junior right now, and it's the CZ instead to finish him off. There's the easy trade up for Moose. It's rifles for nothing, 2 for the price of 1, 8-5.
blink and you'll miss it. An early, a very, very quick flurry of kills, in fact, come through for Triumph in that one. Even just with the pistols in hand, puts them on to 8. Now, Rebirth, of course, they've still got money behind them. They're going to have no trouble reinvesting here. They've won the last couple in a row, of course, with the bomb plants as well. But eating into this reserve cash means that they're not going to have a whole lot left behind it. So Triumph could certainly reset them here. And then going into that 15th, an opportunity for them to extend it to a 10-5 half. Sheikh Zula charging straight through the utility. Wants to try and find this aggressive stance over towards Banana, but Carlson is having none of it. Finds himself both of the shots before falling to the nade in the afterlife. As things level out into a 3-on-3, and Curry, all on his lonesome, has to try and hold this one up.
He went completely unnoticed there. Rebirth certainly not expecting the triple defense over towards the B bomb site. Now it's gone unknown by Zotic. He will try and close in, but the crossfire placed. There's no smoke. Oh, no, it is placed, actually. That was done earlier in the round, perhaps from Retchi before he fell. Only 7 kills for him so far, and Zotic, the main gun for this Rebirth side, needs to come in clutch in the 1 versus 2. He's been spotted out, but what a headshot! And should know exactly where Junior's playing from. The scope heard, and he over-aggresses. That's perfect. Orb gone, and Zotic finds the clutch.
What a clutch from Zotic. They're even finding that mid-air headshot on Banana. That is absolutely flawless. They called the timeout as well just to allow it to calm down. And this is the point where the NSs come through. That is absolutely class. Beautiful headshot there to find onto Banana. And that brings things into a very, very difficult situation for that remaining man. The AWP scoped onto the smoke. Really can't get a whole lot done. And massive initiative there from Zotic as well to recognize that, push through close to the wall. And as soon as he gets through that smoke and realizes that the AWP's posted, that's his fight to win all day long.
We thought it was Triumph time, Josh. Perhaps this would be a 9-6, 10-5 half. It certainly could be the former, but the latter now out of the equation. It's Rebirth starting to post an acceptable T side here on Inferno. We know that they're aiming for the 7-8 rounds. The latter again out of the question, but 7, that's definitely good enough. They've been so good in these pistols as well thus far this series. Zotic and 4-Pack being main members. If they can fire through, then maybe Rebirth can even scramble to double digits first. They will be challenged for this last round, though, as the double AWPs come back out again. Sheikh Zula, who's not been massively effective, just 8 kills, missing the first shot on Banana.
The Triumph Bank not stretched too far, but limited utility. The 5-7 on Penny certainly going to cause them some problems. Moose is able to find himself that opener, though. That's going to slow things down for Rebirth. They have to fall away and try and work out what they're going to do here. Perhaps not. Maybe they just come through with pure aggression. Moose left with a very difficult task, but he's able to hold it up perfectly. 3 kills, and it leaves Zotic all on his lonesome. How on earth did he get out of this one?
Certainly the half over there. That answers all of your questions and certainly answers Triumph's prayers. I don't think they wanted to lose that last, and they certainly don't. 9-6, almost as close as it gets at the end of this one. We'll head to a short break, ladies and gentlemen, but don't go anywhere. We'll find out the victors of this series after this.
I don't wanna fight it. It's time to let it go. It's time to lose your inhibition. Developing a blind ambition. If you got a match, just go ahead and light it. I wanna see where this is going. We're done with playing games, not knowing, yeah. We've nothing to lose. We're lost at the night. We're feeling alright. There's no need to choose. Don't make up your mind. We're feeling alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna do it like this. Gonna do it like that. Everybody's on that. Gonna do it like this. Yeah, we never look back. Oh, got the bodies on tap. Getting rowdy on it. Getting cloudy on it. Got me on the right track. Yeah, you got me on it. Gonna do it like this, cause that's the way we want it. Gonna do it like this. Gonna do it like that. Gonna do it like this. Yeah, we never look back. The shots on my tap. Everybody's on back. Getting cloudy on it. Yeah, we do it like this, cause I like it like that. Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It's the second pistol round right into the action here. Second half of Inferno, and Junior opens up the fragging. This A bomb site seems to be under contest, and Azotic does find another one. This one seemingly all falling apart over towards the pointy letter. Moose is at the ready, and this might be a massive round for Triumph to take. Phantom trying his best to pop in some headshots, and Curry has been close. The stand-in on this Rebirth side isn't able to find any more. And with Junior inside the pit, should be able to close this out with a little bit of aggression. Moose fully flashes, able to find that one, and Phantom, nothing he can do about this. Penny's going to finish him. It's double digits for Triumph, boys and girls.
That's really the start that they needed. Of course, we talk about the fact that this was a very, very close first half, but for for Triumph to pull away here, they absolutely need to take this second pistol round. They need to string together a few off of it, and then they're sitting on 12. If they win the buy round, they can extend that lead even further. This is just a really, really good start for them. And as we look at the buy that's come out, this is pretty healthy. They've got some rifles to work with. They've got a couple of MAC-10s, loads of utility. I really like to see that here in the second round of the half. And they faced up against just the pistols and a single MP9. Scout in hands, 4-pack. Let's see if they can hold this one up with the limited firepower.
It's the banana control, flash not connecting, and Retchi first to receive. The smoke's a place that should delay Triumph, as they don't want to plummet right into this B bomb site into a potential stack. That is what's lying in wait for them, boys and girls. 4 players towards this curly letter with only Zotic elsewhere.
Well, Rebirth have managed to hold on to this one for quite a while, and with this MP9 up close as well, 4-pack's got the bait and switch set up. He can take this first engagement, and then Retchi can swing around. There's so many players up for grabs here, but as Sheikh Zula finds the first, swings around, can't quite connect the second, but Phantom finds the headshots. 2 deagle kills coming through as he looks for more, punches in some damage, but can't quite convert it. But this round's certainly in contention, with Curry on 1 HP, still 2 Rebirth members floating, 50 seconds on this clock. Triumph are forced to backtrack, and they're going to walk right into the waiting arms of Zotic.
That's so painful right there. Phantom's Desert Eagle does 99 points of damage. Could have certainly turned the round on its head, and now Zotic ferociously challenged. It will be the body shot to eliminate Curry, but this should be the round for Triumph. They've got the whole of this A-bomb site completely under wraps. No rifles up for grabs for Carson. Makes this round even more difficult to take. No defuse kit available. It will just be the single smoke into the pit area. Does isolate Moose temporarily, but there's the Molotov down. Should end the round in its tracks, realistically here, Josh, as he will decide to just hold on the receiving end of this with a MAC-10, and there's the peak.
Yeah, Junior not too troubled by that one. The 2 AKs in the crossfire aren't going to be broken by a single MAC-10, especially with that time pressure mounting. The pause comes through now, an interesting time for one. In fact, it's a technical pause. I can actually see it. Junior is lagging, so we're going for a technical pause here. Hopefully it's sorted swiftly.
Yeah, you want all of the conditions to be absolutely perfect. Remember, group stage, this is IEM New York. You certainly want this one to be panning out perfectly. 5 rounds available for Triumph to close off this series, and they've got the AK-47s in hand in such a massive advantage coming into this one.
Absolutely. This has been a really, really good start for Triumph here on this second half. And of course, with that round going in their favor as well, they're going to be able to sort of steamroll a little bit here. Of course, they have to cross this first hurdle. There's hurdles in Counter-Strike, yeah. The first hurdle is the pistol round. They've jumped over it. They've cleared it fantastically. The second hurdle is then this buy-up. This is where they need to win it, and if they can cross it, then they get closer to that finish line, and they should be able to close things out, as they'll be on 12. Their opponents will be trailing by 6. Instead, they have to try and win it first. Of course, they're 5 ahead. And Rebirth, this is where they have to try and pull this one back.
11-6 on the board. And this is where things start to get a little touch and go. Likely a 12 on the table for Triumph. As Moose aggressively sprays away the first 2. These pistols shouldn't be able to do too much. A retrieved AK-47 throws a slight wrench in the works, but look at that B-bomb site. It's completely open. It should be a very simple setting for Triumph. That C4 very easily should go down here, as Sheikh Zula gets all of that info with the MAC-10 towards the back of that B-bomb site. Opportunity for perhaps an entry frag here, maybe just 1 or so exits, but should just get closed down pretty swiftly here from Triumph. Let's get into the rifles.
Yeah, absolutely. If Zodic can bring this AK into the next, then maybe it's a little bit of extra bang for your buck. Of course, that AK can pack quite a punch. 1-hit headshot potential. Certainly something that you really want on that CT side, and isn't something that's available for any kind of cash. So bringing that into the next certainly brings an advantage in their favor. But of course, Triumph will be able to put themselves 12-6. Quite a dominant scoreline as we go into the 19th. Triumph, they've certainly got the momentum on their side.
They absolutely have, and only 4 needed to close off this series as well. This does look like Dust 2, Josh, all over again. Nuke gave us that fire and flare that we really wanted, and now perhaps we look towards that second series of the day to really bring the firepower. We know that's Liquid, RBG. Let's get this one over and done with first. 12-6. The AK-47 still available for Triumph, of course, after such a successful round in the last. Sheikh Zula still clinging on to that MAC-10. Full utility for Rebirth as they put 3 towards this B bomb site. It will be 4-pack taking the aggressive swing with the AWP, and a shot he needs to nail sooner rather than later as those flames connect. Ooh!
Ooh. A very, very nice opening grenade from Triumph there. That eliminates 4-pack and puts this AWP in a position where actually it's been recovered quite nicely. Phantom's been able to get that rifle out the way, pick up that AWP, but it's not as strong in his hands as it is in 4-packs. And as he starts to fall away, Curry's able to take some control, and surely he falls here. He's calling in the reinforcements, but they're far too slow. And with that smoke up, surely he just has to stay on the wrong side of this until his teammates come in to support. And that's going to allow this bomb to go down.
It was also a terrible smoke grenade there. Curry had an angle right underneath, unable to find the shot, but that should isolate the round. Phantom even giving away his position there, and might give away something even more costly, that all-important AWP. How does he escape from this B bomb site as the smokes are starting to dissipate? His exit route completely blocked off, and Triumph, if they let him get away with this sniper, that would be a massive mistake. But as he scrolls away, that is a AWP up for grabs in the next for Rebirth.
The 2-man advantage, and the round's all said and done for Triumph. They just have to try and get rid of these saving players, and with the money in their banks to do so, they're certainly going to press for it. They're closing in from all angles. Carson and Phantom have got a hell of a task on their hands. They've put up quite a fight, but Carson's going to fall. Phantom surely on borrowed time here as Curry's able to eliminate him. Nothing being saved into the next for Rebirth. That's Triumph on 13, and they're going to be faced up against nothing here. No rifles were saved into this next round. With only 3.5k apiece on the CTs, the best they can go for is some pistols and Kevlar.
Another dangerous, deadly dilemma. Do they decide to force? And they actually do. The SMGs come through. It's Carson, and then Retchi with those MP9s in hand. 4-pack, only a Desert Eagle available. Exotic is the man to pick up the AWP. A rifle that seems to be just juggled around on the Rebirth side, showing just a lack of commitment from those main stars. 4-pack doesn't want it. They want the banana control instead, negating the impact of these close quarters combat SMGs, and certainly panning off successfully. The AWP doesn't connect as they backtrack to A.
That's a really strong take from Rebirth, and a nice bit of initiative for them to go for it as well, but Triumph respond nicely. They say, okay, we don't need banana control. We're going to head towards A instead. And as they close around from both angles, Zotic's left in a very difficult scenario just on this bomb site. And as he gets dinked, surely nothing left he can do as Moose finishes things off. And that's going to be a 3-on-2 for Rebirth to try and clutch up, but I'm sure they don't even go for.
Seemingly on borrowed time right now once again. 7th round completely locked away. It's Triumph taking 14 first and foremost. Look to be playing some of their best Counter-Strike here on Inferno. It went a little miss on their map pick of Nuke, but showing us some splendid form here on our 3rd and final map of this series to take their 2nd win here in the group stage.
They are going to be able to save these rifles into the next. Potentially impactful. Of course, Rebirth going for this force now, which I'm not sure I massively agree with, means that they pretty much have to force from here on out until they win at round at the very least. Because Triumph are now on to 14. If Rebirth go for an eco in this next, it's going to secure the 15th, the match point for Triumph. So Rebirth absolutely have to force into this next one, have to force into the follow-up if they lose it. And with very little money to work with, it's going to be the rifles that were saved, followed by maybe a couple of SMGs, maybe a couple of pistols. I'm not even sure what they pull out here.
Oh, it looks like a much more robust buy than I initially anticipated as well. You've got that dilemma. Do you go for the equipment and that utility, or do you just head for those straight rifles? It seems to be the latter here for Rebirth. 3 M4s up for grabs. 4-pack without its AWP. It's instead the FAMAS. So it will be a bit of banana control once again for Phantom. Wants to take that initial stance. He's got a smoke grenade to bail if needed.
The AK's in hand for Triumph, not even opting for this AWP. They have tons of cash to do so, and instead, they don't want to put Junior on that AWP. They don't want to restrict him to that range. They want all of the automatic weapons, and they want to play up close and find the frags, and it's Curry to do the first. Damage being dealt all around, but as he still lives to tell the tale, Zotic's on borrowed time. Curry's able to find himself one more, and Retchy can't get anything done. This is a complete shutdown here for Triumph, and now a retake that Rebirth have to win.
Feels like deja vu every time for Rebirth. These 3 versus 2 scenarios not paying dividends. Some scraps, some utility to throw into the A bomb site. Unfortunately, the first Molotov extinguished and the second doesn't do much either. Triumph, they have this defense posted. The afterplan, perfect, and Carson, the next to drop. It's match point for Triumph.
Now Rebirth really don't have any money to bring into this one. Match point, they've got 9 chances to close it out, but this is going to be their best opportunity to do so. Rebirth with only 3.5k a piece on every single man. What do we see? FAMASs, maybe SMGs come out for this side. This is going to be a really, really difficult one for them to actually win and then pull all the way back to OT. We saw them take it to OT and actually win the OT on Nuke, but I'm not sure if that same potential lies here on Inferno.
No, if you listen carefully, you can almost hear the violins already playing. 9 in a row. I don't expect this one to happen for Rebirth. Inferno, it's been incredibly dominant territory for Triumph, and they will apply the pressure again. Sheikh Zula, lots of damage, no frags. As the SMGs come to avail, pressing forward on Banana. This is risky, and Carson gets his head cut off.
It was a nice opening frag from him, but he just gets a little bit too greedy. He tries to push all the way through. And unfortunately, Sheikh Zula in that scenario has no support from his teammates. So as soon as he falls, it's completely untradeable unless the mistakes come through. And that's exactly what's happening. Penny's good for one more. 4-pack's able to get himself a single kill. But as he falls, that's going to open up this B site. And Rebirth, there's no saving time. They have to go for this retake.
Double M4s in hand, no incendiary grenades available as it's only a smoke and double flash for Zotic, needing to close in right now at the 50-second mark. Bomb should go down, and Triumph might be about to close this one out for good. Sliding in with the M4A4s. I don't see how this is going to happen, Josh. I think that we might be curtains in this series as Retchy, the boost gets thwarted, just leaves it down to Zotic inside the graveyard, which might be where he quite fittingly ends up. 16 kills in this final map for him, but I can't see him getting much more as the smoke goes away to try and isolate these. He has to push all the way on through as Triumph end things 16-6 as they end things